Hello. It's Friday. Ah, that's right. That means you're stuck with me. I'm Carolyn. Got to get that in from Swan City Yarns. We have had some new subscribers lately. Thank you all very much for that. So, got to make sure you know who you're talking to here. Hey, everybody. Laura is here. Hey, Carol and Anne and Karen, Deb. Hello, Valera. Hello, lovely ladies. How are we today? And welcome to anyone else who ends up joining in later. I love it. All right, let me see if I'm in the right place. Okay. I've got lots to talk about today, so just settle in. First of all, Nash Yarn Fest. I posted some things on social media. I didn't really post things like pictures during the festival because you kind of get caught up in it. And, anybody who walks by, you're like, ooh, hello. And if they come into your lair, then, you get busy. So, anyway, it was a good show. And I didn't even really think about it beforehand. I was busy worrying about other things, but we had the best. I was in towards the end of an aisle, so we were kind of surrounded on all sides by other vendors, and we had the best booth buddies, I guess you'd call them. So across from us was Trudy, and it was interesting because I think we were out of all of the people around us, Bo and I got there first and we're setting up because you could set up on Thursday, and also Friday morning. So we got there mid-afternoon Thursday and did most of the work and then came back Friday morning because we were exhausted after a 10-hour drive and that's the thing about festivals. They're exhausting because you drive and then you set up and then you have to talk to people and sell and then you have to break all that down and then drive home. So yeah, so it was kind of exhausting. But anyway, so we're there setting up on Friday. And the lady who is across from us and has a massive booth, by the way, we were in our little 10 by 10 and they're setting up all this stuff. And I happened to be in the aisle and she made some offhand comment and we got to talking. And so I introduced myself and then she said her name was Trudy. And I was like, wait a minute. For some reason, her face, the combination of her face with her name, I was like, I have met you. Me who does so few yarn festivals or has done so few. This lady, I had met her years ago at Fiber Fun in the SIP. Wonderful lady. And she, does a lot, her and her daughter do a lot of festivals. And so it was just helpful to have her there. And she was very positive, gave lots of good feedback and things like that. So loved having her across from us. And then on either side of us, to one side was Kathy with the indigo squirrel. She does indigo dyeing and has beautiful scarves and all that good stuff. They were lovely people, her and her husband. And then over on our other side was two ladies, Leslie and Lindsay, with Twin Mountain handcrafts. And I could tell right from the get-go, Leslie was just a firecracker, talked to everybody who came by, letting them know what all she does. And she basically does a lot of fiber, I would say knitting notions, but they're just fiber related in general. Very cute stitch markers of all kinds. And she even had, it made me think of her because Billy posted her gnomes in the group this week, and they have bases, these wooden little bases that you can stitch your gnomes to so that your gnomes don't flop over. So just all sorts of really cool stuff. So in fact, speaking of that, I got a couple sets of stitch markers from them. They are out of Roanoke, Virginia. I got a set of dragon stitch markers, which I've already given to Morgan. So I don't have those, but they're this same style, this iridescent. She had some wooden stitch markers and all of that. So what are these stitch markers? Well, if you can't tell, they are undies for every day of the week. What are they called? Your everyday undie. What is that? There's a saying, how you have undies for every day of the week. Anyway, Bo and I got a kick out of these. So I bought them and thought that we would do a giveaway. And I get it. Not everybody wants these. If you're a little prudish, I get it. I can be prudy about certain things too. You may not want undie stitch markers, and that's totally fine. But if you would like to be in the drawing to win these, then all you have to do is drop a comment in either video, because yes, we do. So we have this live video that's available on the live tab. And if you subscribe, sometimes if you go into YouTube, the live video is the one that will pop up to show you the most recent video. But we always download it to the home page as well. That way, if anybody new comes to the channel, then there's a video for them. And, not everybody thinks to go to the live tab. So we always download that. But that video doesn't have the live chat on it. So, but either video, you can leave a comment, and in your comment, do #undies, and I'll know that you want to be entered to win these your day of the week undies. I love them. So I will announce that winner next week. In fact, that'll be the same day that I announce the March Fiber Challenge winner. Oh, and we got to talk about April's Fiber Challenge. I haven't actually decided what April's Fiber Challenge is going to be. So, leave me a comment if you have any suggestions. So, hey, Tish. Ooh, it's a sunny 36. Oh, but it feels like 27. Interesting. Well, at least it's sunny. Hey, Karen. Happy to see you. And Katrin. Karen from Tulsa is here. Hello, Star. And Deborah Sue. I love it. Oh, that's awesome. You sent the girls from Go Sadie. They did come by, actually. And Bo says no more 10 by 10s. Yeah, we actually have a couple more that was what I registered for. But I just applied for a fiber festival yesterday. And I said in that one, I applied for a 10 by 20. Yeah, we need a bigger booth. Hey, Barbara, I got your note this morning. And I loved the Martha reference. Are you a Martha Stewart fan? I love Martha Stewart. I watch her shows. Hey, Joe Carroll and Laura. Did I say hi? I think I said hi to Laura. Yeah, Day of the Week undies. That's right. And good. I'm glad y'all like them. I thought some people might be turned off. So I think they're awesome. We need a little bit of humor in our knitting and our crocheting, don't we? For sure. Yes. Seniors need those. I know. See, I'm telling you. Hey, Susan and Cindy. I like this. Hey, Tracy. And Diane is here. Yes, they are really different. I do like I love the iridescent feel to them for sure. Deb says she took along silk long undies for our trip to Scotland last year. That was a good move, actually. Oh, yes, Karen. Carla was, yeah. Oh, did I send you the picture even? We took a picture. I think I did. Oh, gosh. Because she came early. And yeah, she's awesome. It was so lovely to meet Carla face to face. Yeah. And she was blown away. She was, yeah. And I assume it's okay to say it. Karen had me deliver a little gift to her friend Carla at Nash Yarn Fest because she came. And so I got to give it to her from Karen. And yeah, she was blown away. So, and I showed it last week. I was going to say Odette, our Swan. I need to find a place for Odette on my desk, actually. So I'll be doing that. But anyway, so yeah, it was such a good trip all the way. Yes. All right. Oh, good, Karen. I was like, did I send her the picture right away, or did I get caught up and totally forget about sending a picture? Whew. I tell you, I'm a mess. Anyway, so yeah, it was a wonderful trip overall. And the one downside was it was raining on, so Saturday was actually forecast to be a really bad day, forecast wise weather, and with lots of rain and even potentially some tornadoes, which Bo's daughter Kayla lives in Nashville, and she said, yeah, this is the time of year for it. So, but fortunately we were inside and didn't get to see a lot of it, except that at was it 5 o'clock when we started tearing down and doing the loadout, and it was pouring rain, and it poured rain all evening long. So yeah, it was a little bit of a madhouse and a little bit of a mess. So fortunately, Bo did all like the heavy lifting, went out and got the car, and he got soaked, and I was mostly spared, to be honest. All right, what else? Okay, so let's talk about the March Fiber Challenge, by the way. So let me, I'll just stick a picture up here. This is what it looks like in the Swan City Stitchers. That's the thread. If you want to post there, I'm not going to go over the rules today because we literally have 1 week left. The only thing that I wanted to say about that, well, a couple of things, of course, you have 1 week left. So post all your whips and FOs and all that good stuff. If you post in that thread, you don't have to attach any sort of hashtag or anything like that. If you're posting in the group at large or elsewhere, please, please, please do me a favor and attach the hashtag SCS Hat Challenge, SCS Swan City Stitchers. And who knows, I'll think about that, and maybe next month we'll come up with something that's easier across the board to remember. But SCS Hat Challenge, that way next week when I go to pull a winner, it's easy for me to find everybody. I just do a search for that hashtag and also in the thread. Because if you don't have that hashtag on your post, then I may or may not see it, and I want you to be entered to win. You don't have to use Swan City Yarns. So, and you can go back and edit posts, by the way. So if you already posted a picture, excuse me, and you didn't use the hashtag, you can go in and edit your post and then just stick that hashtag in there so that I can find it. Yeah. All right. Good stuff. And then, hey, Jana, welcome, welcome. And let's see. Oh, hey, Lydia, you did make it to the live. I love it so much. I'm glad you're here. Okay, what else did I wanted to show you all? So I think, was it Susan? Somebody posted a picture already in the Swan City Stitchers, which so you may have seen it, but this is another sneak peek at the monthly mini color club that went out a couple weeks ago. I think everybody should have gotten it by now, but if for some reason you haven't gotten yours or you haven't opened it and don't want to see it, then you might want to look away, because here it is. Dun, dun, dun. So here's the mini, which I called a hidden gem because the month of March is aquamarine, I believe, right? And then Anne did, because it's March, she did kind of an aquamarine 4-leaf clover for us. How pretty is that? It's beautimous. So yeah, so there it is. Dun, dun, dun. All right. I'm saving up all of mine, by the way. I have quite a stack of these bad boys, and I intend to, I'm thinking I'm going to make a blanket at some point for me, but I haven't even started thinking about which blanket, because I still have a blanket for Morgan that I haven't finished yet. So I might should do that. Hey, Cindy. And oh, Michelle is over on Instagram too. Welcome, y'all. You'll have to bear with me because sometimes I forget to check Instagram. So just me being silly. But if you're commenting. So welcome, ladies. All right. What do we have? Oh, I have some good projects to show y'all. I can't wait to show you all the whips. Lydia, you made the songbird mittens with just 2 minis. That's crazy. Wow, that's impressive. Those minis go a long way, don't they? That's awesome. They're beautiful, by the way. If y'all haven't seen them, look up Lydia in the Swan City Stitchers, because she has made some amazing mittens. Oh my goodness, they are fantastic. All right, here we go. First up, Valera was kind enough to post. This is her second pair of socks from a skein of Swan Song and a skein of Cat's Meow. How awesome is that? And I love that you mixed them up, Valera. That's awesome. Y'all know how I love that. And then Connie posted, she apparently has been saving this skein of raspberry lemonade. And, but she said she pulled it out and she is using it, which is awesome. I love that. That is a good colorway. That would be perfect for spring. So who knows? Maybe we'll see it in the upcoming weeks in the shop. And then this is another pair of socks that Valera is doing and sent me, and I thought y'all might be interested. So she is doing socks to keep track of the Cubs games. So basically, the red and the blue indicate the score, red being the Cubs. And as Valera expressed, there should be more red. I wholeheartedly agree. And so the red is actually red letter day. The blue represents the opposing team, and that one is anchors away. And then the green, I dyed up some sword for her, and she's using that as her offset color. I love that. Aren't those cool? They're amazing. So, and Bo, I haven't showed you those yet. I was supposed to show you that picture. So how cool are those? All right. And then Billy posted these. These are her, speaking of the raspberry lemonade, she posted the some of her little gnomes that she has made, including raspberry lemonade with a berry hat. I love these so much. And I love that the gnome on the left has like a curly, crinkly beard, and the one over there on the right has like a more straight. I just love that so much. And she said they knit up fast, which I'm thinking is all the more reason why I need to knit some gnomes. Those would make very good Christmas gifts too. I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll talk about my disappointment with gift knitting in a little bit. All right, Laura is making the sip hat. How awesome is that? She's using leprechaun is the green and berry is that pink. It is amazing. I absolutely love this color combination. Oh, it's just gorgeous. And then this is Teresa, who it was knitting. Well, she's done, obviously. You can see this is the Spring Ahead beanie, which is perfect for this time of year. And she used the gory details. That was a one-of-a-kind colorway. I love it. That was a fast knit, too. She's amazing. And let's see, Jessica gave us an updated picture of her shawl. Your slip is showing, which looks amazing. And yeah, very good. And let's see, that was this last collection. So Queen of Tarts, Duke of Hastings, Charcoal, and You're Blushing are those colorways. And then Anne posted her, I believe that's the Ponderosa hat. And she used the colorway Leprechaun on both fluffy sock and fluffy lace, which I know, speaking from experience, a dream combination. That hat has got to be the cutest, fluffiest thing. And I'm sure Eunice, she looks very happy there, is enjoying it. All right. And last but not least, this is Susan. And she's knitting a hat. This is the Everywhere hat. And she said it's an Oopsie yarn, but I think that might be the gory details also. I didn't name it Oopsie, did I, Susan? I think it's the gory details. Anyway, who knows? With me, you never can tell. I very well might have named it Oopsie. You just never know. I was thinking while I was doing that, something made me think about, I started to say, Barbara, I asked if you were a Martha Stewart fan. And somehow I think I got off the topic. But anyway, I love watching Martha Stewart, all of her cooking shows. There's something about her. I mean, I think we've all heard some odd things about Martha, but you have to say, you have to admire her drive and her passion. And yeah, I love watching her cooking shows on a rare occasion when I get to sit in the afternoon and knit. I don't make Bo sit with me and watch it. Bo and I are actually watching Severance. Have any of y'all watched that? We're on the second season, which I'm a little disappointed in the second season so far, but we'll see. All right. Yes, Karen. April showers bring May flowers. May flowers bring June brides. That's true. Absolutely. Let's see. Hey, Sharon. Glad you made it. And Deb, you love what idea? You know me. You all got to be specific in your comments because as soon as I leave a topic, it's like gone. So tell me your idea, the idea that you love. Oh, the gnomes, maybe? All right. And let's see. Oh, Valera snagged the idea of the scoreboard socks from Deborah Sue. I love that. Deborah Sue, did you make some for another team? I'm curious. Or maybe the same team, the Cubs. I love Martha's former incarnation. Yes, I'm stuck in the 90s. You know, I watched the documentary on her. I think it was on Netflix. And it was actually pretty good. Yeah, although I have to say, her I was telling Bo about her views on her ex-husband cheating on her. She totally had a definite double standard regarding her behavior and his. That's all I'm going to say. It was kind of comical to watch, obviously. But you know, I love stuff like that. I love documentaries and even shows or books that are kind of autobiographical in nature and let you see even just a short snippet, like a year in the life of. There was one of I read a while ago. It was a winemaker out in California, and she wrote basically about a year in her life as a winemaker, and it was so interesting. Even though, I mean, I don't want to make wine or anything like that, but I love stuff like that. So I love hearing people's perspectives on things. So especially somebody so successful like Martha Stewart. Okay. My projects. Oh boy. Okay. So let me show you. Here I have the Musselburgh hat, which it's a little bit addicting. It doesn't look like I've made a ton of progress, maybe because it's fingering weight yarn. So I think I have to do like 12 inches total before I switch colors. So I have a little ways to go, but I love it because it's just straight stockinette at this point. And so it's just easy to do TV knitting and all of that. But I didn't, like I think I told you all last week, I didn't get as much knitting done on the trip. For one thing, while we were there, it was just super busy. But even on the way home, I slept a lot. I drove a little bit on the way up. Bo drove the entire way home, and I mostly slept. I tell you, poor Bo. Anyway, so this hat is for Bo, by the way. This colorway is all executive producer, and I love it. Look how that's knitting up. Which, by the way, executive producer was very popular. I was telling the Dying to Knit ladies that it was very popular at Nash Yarn Fest, and I sold out on most of my greens. So I have just recently, this week, restocked executive producer and also Gretna green. I cannot wait to switch to this color. I just love it so much. By the way, do y'all know the historical significance of Gretna green? I just assumed that y'all would know, but I realized at Nash Yarn Fest, not everybody does, because some people were like, what? Gretna green? Gretna green. So if you don't know, and I know some of y'all know, Karen can probably tell us better than better than anybody. Okay, let me just a side note here. You're right, Bo. I do sleep a lot. There is something about being in the passenger seat, and especially we live in Florida and it's sunny and the sun's beating down on you. Yes, I fall asleep. When I'm driving, I don't. I will say that I'm very good. Now, it's been a while since I've driven through the night. Gosh, it's been years ago. My mom and I made a trip from Ohio to Florida was the last time. But yeah, if I'm driving, if it's a psychological thing, I can stay awake. But you try to get me to stay awake in the passenger seat, it's a lost cause. I can't help it. It just happens. Um, oh yeah, do the 2016 season. That would be a lot. There's a lot I don't want to know about. I know. Tell me about it. I'm sure. Um, oh, good. Cindy, I love it. You'll have to share with me what your favorite documentaries are. We watched some some music documentaries. Um, we enjoy those for sure. So yeah. But yeah, I started watching what's the one quarterback? See, I don't even know his name. He's not a quarterback anymore, I don't think. I think he's retired. Anyway, they have a documentary on him on Netflix, and I started watching that one, even though I'm not even into football. But hey, Kim, glad to see you here. And yes, Tish, it's where one can get married without a bunch of rigmarole. Yes. Okay. So Gretna Green, thank you. Yes, and Aaron Rodgers, that's the name of the football player. Honestly, the real reason I started it, apparently he has had some sort of feud with his family, and I really wanted to watch because I find that interesting, but I haven't even gotten to that part yet. Anyway, so yeah, Aaron Rodgers. So Gretna Green is a town in Scotland. So in the 1700s, a law was passed in England and Wales that got really strict with marriage. So I don't remember, you either had to have your parents' consent if you were under a certain age, or you had to have, I heard one place, it was a walking tour of Scotland villages, and they did a walking tour of Gretna Green. And you'd think they would know. They said something about the law said that you had to have a formal ceremony. So obviously it had to be sanctioned by your family and the church. Well, back in those days, as you know, if you were higher class, there was a much bigger distinction between higher and lower classes. Obviously, wealthy families, royalty, did not want their children marrying just anybody of the hoi polloi. So they were very strict about who their children could marry. Well, Scotland did not have the same strict laws. And so Gretna Green was like the first town you'd come to on the main road to Scotland from England. And so it's kind of like people going to Vegas now, because I guess you don't have to have the wait time or whatever. And so people would go to Gretna Green to the blacksmith. Apparently, he had the power to marry people, and they would get married there because they didn't have to worry about, someone telling them, no, you can't marry this person. So Gretna Green, yes, if you have read any historical romances, heck, I think Pride and Prejudice, right? They mentioned Gretna Green, then you will have heard of Gretna Green. So yeah, that came to mind. All sorts of weird things pop into my mind when I'm naming colorways, I tell you. I got to get my inspiration from somewhere. So that is Gretna Green. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Karen. Very good. Yeah, see, parents' consent. Oh yeah, Deb, a Michigan Wolverines pair. That would be, oh yeah, of the year they won their championship. I think that's an excellent idea. Tish says she thinks there are several Gretna Green lawns in various states. Probably so. This would not surprise me. And all right, so Cindy, you watched the Martha one? Mm-hmm. Queen of the group. I think we may have seen one. Did we see one of those, Bo? Bo loves Queen and Queen Elizabeth. I don't know if I saw that one. Interesting. Oh, Deborah Sue made the socks for Alabama. All right. This which Alabama team? I only know the Sooners because that's who Bo likes. And I only know the name. I don't actually like pay attention. All right. Oh, interesting. Barbara. So there's a Louisiana housing project called Gretna Green. Interesting. I did not know that. Alabama is not. Oh, you're right. Oklahoma. Ha! Yeah. I'm really showing my sporting knowledge now, aren't I? Bowen, we met this lady at Nash Yarn Fest who's from Nebraska. And I don't know anything about Nebraska. And Bo's like, the Cornhuskers. And they have this long conversation about the Cornhuskers and the Sooners and about, I don't know, some decision. They're not in the same conference. I don't know. But I was like, interesting. But I could contribute nothing to the conversation because I really have this much interest in football. As you can tell. Okay, moving on. My puffle socks. Here's the deal. I'm so frustrated with this project. So I started these at the beginning of March, did I not? And to be fair, I'm done almost with the first sock. So I started with Bodacious and then I alternated Gnarly and Fat Tuesday. And now I'm back to Bodacious and I'm almost done with the toe, right? Oh, I think we have some rivalry going on here. Okay, I'm not going to say anything else because I don't know anything about any of them. But I'm so frustrated because I'm making these for my sister-in-law and her birthday is April 4th. And I have like a week left before I need to get these shipped out. And it's obviously doable, right? I can knit a sock in a week. I've done it before, but I just find it frustrating because inevitably when I start gift knitting for people, this is what happens. Somehow it's a variety of reasons, but there's always a reason I end up getting right down to the wire and then I feel stressed and pressured. I need to get these done on time. I'll get them done, but like I said, I'm annoyed. Anyway, the other concern that I have is so I only used a mini of the Gnarly for the body of the sock. So I'm just, if I alternate colors or if I switch out the colors like I usually do. So I'll do Gnarly on the cuff and the toe of the second sock. That's enough, right? That's enough for a cuff and a toe. And then because of that, likewise, I hope I have enough of Bodacious for the body of the other sock. Obviously, I'll have enough Fat Tuesday because I have a whole skein. But this is good because as I was telling my Dying to Knit people last night, I'm going to be teaching a class this summer about how to read a skein of yarn and kind of get an idea of how it will knit up depending on which project you decide to work on with it. But Fat Tuesday is actually a great colorway to use. So when I'm done with these socks, I'm going to take the leftovers and I'm going to knit a small circumference, straight up just with the Fat Tuesday. And then I'm going to do a wider circumference so that you can see the difference of how it knits up. And I realized too, I really need to do a better job of showing you all what a skein looks like. So I'll start trying to do a better job with my pictures of taking a photo of skeins laid out. Because, anytime you have color repeats down, like Fat Tuesday does, you're going to have some sort of either like, we call it faux self-striping because it's not true self-striping yarn, but in a sock, it will look somewhat like self-striping yarn. Like you can see Fat Tuesday here does. However, it's not true like you would expect, like there are some sections here where you see like that's mostly green. That's because when I dyed up that skein, I made a bigger section of the green. So it makes sense that you would see more of the green than you do of the yellow and the purple. The yellow and the purple, you get like maybe a round of them, and that's it. That's because they're smaller sections. So anyway, yeah. So I will be working on these monogamous, whatever, Lee, until they are done. So yeah. All right. Let's see. I know gift knitting can be stressful for sure, and I don't handle that stress well. So, oh, Chattahoochee. Okay, I'll have to check that. So I'm curious, Deb, are those patterns now available, or not? Or do you have to wait a while? Okay, so shop update. What have we got going on? So, couple of things. I'm going to show you. If you are in Dying to Knit and you haven't watched the video from last night yet, you might want to, and you don't want to see the colorway, then you might want to close your eyes. I'm just going to show it real quick. This is the colorway that we dyed up, and we talked about the color repeats because they are in there. I'm not going to go into it too much today. It was inspired by a book cover of Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. And so, yeah, so we had fun dyeing that up. The reason I bring it up is so you'll have FOMO, not really, but also to show you the coordinating cousins that go with that and which are on pre-order for anybody. They're on multiple bases, but not every base. I basically made it available on the bases that are available for Dying to Knit people, since it is geared towards them. So the first colorway is this. It's a tonal purple base, and then it's got speckles all over the place. So this doesn't really have color repeats. This is just a nice tonal solid with, like I said, overall speckles in silver. And that is called Marmee. Marmee March, the mother. And then the other one is called Aunt March, the dreaded Aunt March. No, I'm just kidding. And it is, so this I speckled a dark mossy green that really likes to break. So you see those dark blues in there and some golden browns. There's even a little bit of a deep magenta that I saw periodically. Those all come from that green. And then there's also, you see some of that bright blue that's sitting in there. That's another dye powder that I speckled with. So that's Aunt March. This is another one that's an overall speckle. I didn't do color repeats of any length. They're just, you know, the whole skein is like a tonal, but I did speckle it. And this is another one, by the way. So this is now my second colorway where I measured out the dye powder. You know, normally, and I say this all the time, well, if I speckle, I don't really measure. I just speckle and go by visually. But with this colorway, I actually measured out how much dye powder I used of each of the dye powders. And now granted, it's per pan rather than per skein, really. So some skeins might get a little bit more than others, but overall, I'm just hoping for a more consistent colorway. Hey, Linda, good to see you. The clarity is so much better. Yes, it is. It's a better camera, honestly. I might could do something about that. I'm glad you said that. Maybe some of it too could be the lighting because it's at night. You don't get all that daylight, but I might start changing out my camera. I'm glad you said that. Yes, very good. Yeah. Oh, and Bo to the rescue. Yeah, laptop cameras aren't great. But like I said, maybe I'll have Bo start helping me set up and we'll change that. Okay. The other thing, or another thing that is in the shop, is this colorway. It is only on two bases. Actually, both of these colorways. They're slightly different. So this is Swanky Sock. It is also available on Trusty DK. Valera, I sent you an email about that. So these started out, if y'all remember the Oh, they're down there. I don't know if you can see. No, they're kind of behind my chair. A couple weeks ago, I did that pastel collection, which is not really available. Anyway, Birds of a Feather was one of them. So I had a wholesale order and I was dyeing up Birds of a Feather, which, by the way, is a combination of two dye powders. And I had one of the dye powders is in a special canister that's different from all my others. And I had another blue dye powder out in the same style canister. And for some reason, I just assumed that was the one that I needed, which is why I should not leave my canister sitting out, because you know what happens when you assume. Anyway, it was the wrong dye powder. So I dyed it up. As soon as I got it, I was like, I think it was in the pan. And I was like, it's not the right color. Sure enough, I looked and I was like, ah, crud. But it left me some skeins of a different blue. So I put them back in the pots. And yeah, I dyed up. So we have two birds and a bunny because the colorway was supposed to be Birds of a Feather. So this is two birds and a bunny. It's got that, blue base, and then it's got some of that beautiful violet speckling going on that also breaks. And so you see some beautiful pinks in there and even some various shades of blue. And then this one I speckled with a couple of pinks that also break. And this one is called Cherry Blossoms. Bo mentioned that it looks a little bit like when you see pictures of cherry blossoms, sometimes that sky in the background. Yeah, so it definitely looks like that. So we have cherry blossoms and two birds and a bunny. So those are in the shop for now. I don't know if they'll be mainstays or not. I do have the dye recipes written down, maybe for spring. I'll make a note of that maybe we'll bring it back for spring. I also updated, I already mentioned Gretna Green and executive producer are updated on a couple bases. And I also updated Purple Leaf Plum. This was a huge hit at Nash Yarn Fest. I'm noticing, by the way, that my dye strategy for festivals is probably going to have to be a little bit different than what I typically do. So, for festivals, you really need more of a quantity. Although I did come away with a handful of special orders, like sweater quantities. But I think a lot of dyers who dye for festivals, and I could be wrong with this, it's just a feeling I've gotten, is that they tend to have specific samples, and then they've got a lot of those colorways for those samples, because we noticed that right away. People walk up and they see the sample. Most of my special orders were for fluffy lace because I had one of my Cumulus blouses that I had knit up holding 2 strands of fluffy lace, and they loved that sample. So anyway, so I might have to I might have to change some of my dyeing strategy, which is it's all good. I like a challenge, you know me. Anyway, Purple Leaf Plum is back in the shop. Just look at that gorgeousness. Anyway, yeah, so that was a big hit at Nash Yarn Fest. And then we have a true, it's a one of a kind because it's not coming back. This is Froyo. Morgan and I couldn't remember. There's a flavor of Froyo that looks like this. And I remember it because Morgan used to get it, but we couldn't remember or figure out what that flavor was. But anyway, it's called Froyo. And the reason for it, I'll just let y'all know, I am kind of auditioning some colorways for an upcoming collection. I don't know when. It's not imminent. I'm just playing around right now. I don't even know how many colorways will be in it. But anyway, so this was one of my little experiments. It's not, there are no color repeats in it. It's an overall, like you pretty much get this throughout the entire skein. You've got some really bright spring colors in there. There was supposed to be some pink in there, but it kind of turned more of a peachy color because of the way that it interacts with the yellow and the green and the blue in there. So yeah, so if you're looking for some bright spring colors, then Froyo is for you. A happy little accident. Yes, indeed. We love happy little accidents, don't we? For sure. And then, oh, Karen, what is the shawl I'm wearing today? So this is one of my favorite shawls, actually. I was just thinking I need to knit another one. This is by Carolyn Todrank is her name. It's called Be Simple Variations because she writes it up in such a manner that you can vary it. And I believe it's a free pattern, if I'm not wrong. It is, I'm not going to pull it off because I'll just tell y'all, I think my shirt is a little bit tighter than it used to be because when I was putting it on, my buttons are all stretching across. And I was like, I need my shawl to cover my buttons. I didn't have that problem when I first got this shirt. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, but it's a boomerang shape, which I love in a shawl because it doesn't give you a ton of bulk, but it's a little bit more fun than wearing like a regular like winter scarf or something, right? It's more lightweight and it just looks cooler as a decoration. This colorway is called Raspberry Sorbet. And I don't have any in the shop right now, but I love a good red and blue combination, as y'all know. So yeah, that was why I pulled it out today. So yeah, I did mine with a lot of yarn overs. It's a very simple pattern, but like I said, she writes it in such a way that you can really vary it. Like you can do as many lace rows as you want or as few as you want and all of that good stuff. So yeah. All right. Okay. Dying to knit. By the way, I gussied up that graphic a little bit. If you were here last week, you heard me lamenting about, I'm just not, I don't like, graphics are just kind of, for me, they're just something extra that I have to do. I'd rather be dyeing yarn. So, but so the dying to knit graphic was a little, but I gussied it up a little bit and something that I could be a little bit more proud of. And yeah, so the candies that you see, I put it in the newsletter. The candies that you see are the ones that will be the dye inspiration. The first week will be the M&M's picture. And I'm really looking forward to that one. And then also the Hershey's Kisses. That one will be way that's a little bit different. And then the Good and Plenty, obviously. So that'll be our third one, I believe. Yeah. So anyway, that will close sometime next week. So if you're interested in joining that, then you'll want to get that in. Okay. Coming up, I believe it's in 2 short weeks, I will be at She Sells Yarn because the Orange Blossom Yarn Crawl will be going on. And so I'll be doing a trunk show there. And then at the end of next month, April 25th through the 27th, we will be in Ellijay, Georgia. I've already heard from a couple of you that I might see you there. I'm excited about that. And Bo booked our hotel and, and it's beautiful. Like it's not, it's a, Best Western, but he showed a picture of it and I hope it's as pretty. Yeah, because I've never been to Ellijay, but it looks kind of mountainous and it's just beautiful. So yeah, I'm very excited about going there. So yeah, and then so Michelle says must be the dryer is shrinking your shirt. I don't put this one in the dryer. I'm very fussy about because I'm a little more well endowed up here. So I always am careful about shirts because I am aware of the whole shrinkage thing. And yeah, unfortunately, I can't blame that stinking dryer. I've been eating too much banana bread or something. I have a very good banana. It's a chocolate. I make a chocolate banana bread. And even Connor and Morgan really like it. Bo won't eat it because he's afraid of kidney stones. That's a whole thing. And so he doesn't eat very much chocolate. But I have a recipe that is dairy-free and gluten-free and soy-free and all the free of the things that I can't have. And I have to tell you, I made it for the first time in, I don't know, like 6 months because, when I started Swan City, the first several months were pretty intense, being busy wise and all of that. And so the other day I actually had a few minutes and I was like, I'm going to make a batch of banana bread. So I did, and it was good stuff. So Tish, Ella-J is a bit mountainous. Yeah, okay, very good. Ella-J is beautiful. I love it. Very good. Oh, thank you, Tish. Yes, so I dyed the She Sells Yarn colorway for the yarn crawl. I guess every shop is doing something different this year. I could be wrong about that. That's the impression that I have. So I dyed up a colorway for She Sells Yarn. If you follow She Sells Yarn, Helen always does on Wednesday mornings or I think it's at 10, she does a Facebook Live video. And this week she showed my colorway. So if you're interested in seeing it, then you can tune in. I didn't dye up extra, so I can't show y'all what it looks like. Actually, I say that. The Dying to Knit people did get to see that colorway. I let them see all sorts of things. We talk about all sorts of things. Cindy, on the map, it looks close to Barnsley. It might be. I know that Bo was saying, because we usually, anytime we head north, we go through Atlanta and then I think head a little bit west. But Ella-J looks like it's a little bit northeast, he said, which would make sense for the mountains and all that. So anyway, it's at 9:30. That might be why I sometimes log on and I'm like, oh, she's already started. That's because I have the wrong time. Okay, so 9:30. Very good. Thank you, Tish. All right. I think that's all I have. Listen, if you've been around this long and you have not yet subscribed or hit the like button, then I invite you to do both. It helps me out. It also helps you out. Yeah. And so I hope y'all have a good weekend. And I plan on getting some knitting done. I hope you get some knitting or crocheting or spinning or whatever it is that you like to do. I hope that you get that done as well. And yeah, take care of yourselves. And I will see you in the Swan City Stitchers. And I'll see you back next week right here, same time as always. All right. Take care of yourselves, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye-bye.